So we're here for round 2, and I'm probably not going to do every chapter of the book, but I really wanted to get through this next chapter. I hope that this does something for you. I hope that you feel a little less alone in your desert, and I hope that you see the hope that comes with the Lord. Letter 2. God hasn't changed my location, but He's keeping me alive through it. My dearest friend, we unpacked some pretty heavy stuff in our first letter, didn't we? Well, grab your coffee and a snack and your comfiest pillow, and we will talk it through some more. The desert is such a dry and heavy place, but I promise hope is on its way. Even though we can't see it right now, we may not be able to see the hope and the promise of peace, but it is still there. I'm hanging on to that. I'm hanging on to Romans 8:28 in hopes that one day soon I'll see the things that work together for my good. The Israelites couldn't see what was ahead either. They didn't have a map of the promised land. Oh, how nice a map would have been. Now see here, Moses would have pointed out, the promised land is just over there. This should take us about 11 days. If we all stick together, piece of cake, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. They would have studied the map, made a plan, and been on their way. They didn't have a map though. They did have something to lead them. What was it? Well, let's look at it together. In Exodus 13:21 through 22, the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way during the day, and in a pillar of fire to give them light at night, so that they could travel day or night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night never left its place in front of the people. They didn't see what was ahead. They saw a cloud to follow by day and a pillar of fire by night. I can't help but think that they had to wonder at times, are we following the right cloud? Is that the right pillar of fire we see? Is that just a torch in the distance? What's going on? In this desert place, I've often wondered, am I going the right way? How did I get here? How do I get out? What's the right path? Because all the paths look blurry or unfamiliar. No direction I turn seems to lead me away from the desert. Why, oh why is life so hard? Why can't I hear His voice in this barren land? There are so many unanswered questions I contemplate from my shack. But even though the Israelites had the pillar of fire and the cloud leading them, they still didn't end up in the promised land in that less than 2 weeks time frame. Despite what we have been taught so many times by their story, what kept them wandering was not just their complaining. Think about it, if that were true, why didn't they get closer or suddenly arrive to this land flowing with milk and honey as soon as they did well and put their hope back in God? What happens when they follow God's commands? Exodus 40:16, Moses did everything just as the Lord commanded him, still in the desert. Numbers 9:23, they camped at the Lord's command and they set out at the Lord's command. They carried out the Lord's requirement according to His command through Moses, still in the desert. In Exodus 40, they followed God's plan in constructing the tabernacle. In Numbers 3, they adhered to God's instructions to set apart the Levites. Their location still didn't change, but God kept them alive through it. Provisions were sent daily, quail and manna, day in, day out, over and over. They were still confined to a prolonged time of wandering, but their needs were met daily. God didn't lead them out there to die, though they complained that that was the case. He was bringing them through the desert and providing along the way. They didn't have the privilege of knowing just how long this little desert vacation would be. If they had known, maybe they would have complained less, knowing that there was an end to it. All they knew was that they were wandering, the food wasn't great, and there was some great promise at the end. The cheese at the end of this maze was going to be amazing, but how long until they arrived? The address didn't seem to be changing. They mostly complained, but even when they obeyed instead, the address remained the same. 1234 Desert Drive seemed a little too permanent for their liking. Just like us, they had been in the desert for so long that it seemed a permanent address. They sent in their change of address forms after Egypt, and they had been at Desert Drive so long that the mail forwarding had ended. The address remained the same, but they still had the provision, the shelter, and the compassion from their Heavenly Father. But here's the thing, they didn't see it that way. We can see it because we have a narrator telling us what was going on. They didn't have that luxury. They only saw their current plight. They could only see the circumstances, but not who was ultimately in control. They didn't see God's plan to bring them out or his plan to continue to provide. Can I tell you, I don't believe it's God's plan for any of us to live in the desert forever. It may feel like it. It may be a very long desert experience, but it's not meant to be our life. And even though I've been living here for some time, and maybe you and I are neighbors, this is not meant to be our permanent residence. What does that mean? It means there's hope. There is life beyond the sand. I've had some questions, and I bet you've had some of these same questions. How do I get out of this wandering place and into my own promised land? Why am I here? Why does everyone else seem to live on the mountaintop? God, can you help me to see what you're doing? Think about these questions over the next few letters. Let's see if we can start to find some answers. I would love to see you walking out of this in total freedom, and I don't want to be too far behind you. I'm praying for a new address. How about you?